Good day, everybody. I hope that you're well, and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. All right, so we say that this is about prefixes and suffixes. Once we logged into a+students.ca with our username, and we're going to log on with our password, and then we're going to select the subject of English Language Arts, grade 5, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to our chapter of prefixes and suffixes. And of this is a continuation of our previous lesson, also on prefixes and suffixes. And in our previous lesson, we did words with pre, words with re, and words with sub. And remember, we said that knowing the prefix or the suffix will help you in knowing the meaning of the word. All right. So today we'll be doing in today's lesson, we said our chapter is prefixes and suffixes. Our subject is English Language Arts, grade 5, and the lessons that we are focusing on today is words with miss and words with an, dis, in, im, and non. All right, so prefix can be added to the beginning of a base word to create a new word, right? So that is a prefix. And knowing the meaning of a prefix can help you to determine the meaning of a word. All right, so you said knowing the meaning of a prefix, you remember whether it's a prefix or a suffix, right? But knowing the meaning of that word can help you to determine the meaning a of a specific word. Like for example, look at the word miss, right? So the prefix miss, it means either incorrect or it means badly. That is the meaning of the word miss. It's either incorrect or badly. And also the prefix, which is un, dis, in, im, and non, it usually means not or the opposite of. All right, so now we're going to look at a few words, right, that we can use starting with miss. And remember, when it comes to a prefix, right, the prefix, it is words that is added or letters that is added to the beginning of a root word, right? And once it is added to the root word, and then it changes the meaning of that word. All right. And if we look at a few words, right? Words with miss. And the words with miss are, for example, let's say misjudge. And if we look at the word misjudge, right? Misjudge is either where I judged you incorrectly or I judged you for something that you didn't do, right? It's a mistake. Mistake, something that you did incorrectly. And then we also have misled. where you're leading me astray, incorrectly, doing badly. Misread a word, meaning that you read the word incorrectly. Misplace, we have misprint, misuse is also a word. It's like you're using it incorrectly. That is what we mean by we misuse. Mistrust, I do not trust you, right? Because you broke our trust. And misdirect. These are words with the prefix mis. And the prefix mis either means incorrectly or it means badly. Even if you look at the word misbehave, misunderstanding. All right, so these are a few of our prefixes or words with prefixes with miss, right? And we said the prefix miss, it means either incorrectly or it means badly. And there we have a few words, like for example, misjudge. That's like where you judge somebody incorrectly. We have mistake. It's a mistake that you made, right? We have misled, misread, misplace, misprint, misdirect, mistrust, misuse, misbehave, and then we have misunderstand. So that is words with the prefix mis, and that means incorrectly or it means badly. All right. And now, if we look at the next one, all right, and then we have prefixes with un, in, im, non, right? And if we look at words with those prefixes, right? Then we can say, and firstly, that words, right, like un, dis, in, im, and non, it means not or it means the opposite of. All right. So when we look at words with let's say, for example, unbend, right? I don't know if that is actually a word, but okay, let's say unload. Let's words like unload. So unload, right? Meaning that you need to take it off. It's the opposite of loading, right? You unload. Undress, which means that this is the opposite of dressing. Unfold, the opposite of folding those things. Unlock the door, and that is the opposite of locking the door, right? Then we also have a word like impure. So we have unload, undress, unfold, unlock, right? That is words with and then we have impure, imbalance, because these are words with we have imbalance, meaning it is not balancing. And we have impossible, right? Impossible. Even imperfect, meaning you are not perfect. And then we also use the word in. We have inexperience, meaning that you're not experienced. Invalid, it is not valid. All right. So imperfect. And then we also have inconvenience. Inconvenience, right? And that is but a few examples of words with words with miss, and words with right? All right, so now we're going to A plus students.ca, and we're going with words with miss. And we said that if the prefix miss means either incorrectly or bad, right? So now it says, who is more likely to misstate a fact? Misstate a fact. And mistake means to state something incorrectly. Misstate is when you state something incorrectly. And somebody who might misstate a fact, we would say it is a student, right, is more likely to misstate facts. All right. All right. If we look at the next word, misspent, which results in misspent time. Misspent time. What results in misspent time? You not being able to properly spend time with your family or your friends. Misspent, it means spending badly or spending unwisely. All right. And misspent is when you spend it badly or spend it wisely. And somebody who might be doing that, the results of misspent time is where you're doing something unnecessary. All right. So now we're going to our test. We now need to say which type of behavior shouldn't cause mistrust. Is it suspicious behavior or honest behavior should not cause mistrust? All right. So which type of behavior should not cause mistrust? So if you're being honest and then it will not cause any mistrust. All right. So we said that the results of misspent time is it doing something important or doing something unnecessary. Misspent time. All right. So misspent is doing something unnecessary. All right. Then it says, how could a news report misrepresent an event? So, how could a news report misrepresent an event? Is it by leaving out important details or by giving too many details? All right. And if we could a news report misrepresent an event, we can say by leaving out important details of the event. That is where you misrepresent the event. And which is a common misspelling of two? Is it the first option two, which is T double O, or the second option two, which is T W W H O, sorry. All right, so misspelling of two is the first option, which is two, which is T double O, right? And that means like me too. That is what it actually means. All right, and the last one it says, which are less likely to be misinterpreted? Is it clear instructions or unclear instructions? All right, now we're going on to the next one. And the next one says, we need to say words with un, words with this, in, im, and non. All right, so we said that prefixes with an, dis, in, im, and non, they usually mean not, or they mean the opposite of something, right? So if we, for example, say which country is more independent, and then we can say it is one that controls itself. They are independent. All right. So we said which is more of an independent country. It's a country that controls itself. Why might you feel disconnected from friends? So why might you feel disconnected from friends? And you might feel disconnected from friends. Sometimes it's because you haven't heard of somebody in a very long time, or sometimes the conversations that was overheard. All right, so we can feel disconnected from friends because you haven't heard from them in a while. All right, so now we're going to our test. And once again, why might you feel disconnected from friends? Is it option one, because you haven't heard from them in a while, or option two, because you have been spending a lot of time with them? All right. And you might feel disconnected from friends because you haven't heard from them in a while. That is why it's important to constantly check up on your friends. All right. What is an uncivilized person unlikely to do? An uncivilized person. What is he or she most likely to do? Is it say, excuse me, or drink water? An uncivilized person. So an uncivilized person, right? We can say is unlikely to say excuse me, right? Because if you're an uncivilized person, you're not going to say excuse me, right? Which is non-living? Non-living. Is it a plant or a mineral? Non-living. So which is non-living? Is it a plant or is it a mineral? And if we were to identify a non-living thing, we can say a mineral is something that is not alive. Plants are living things. So now, when are you likely to have a disagreement with someone? A disagreement where you do not agree with something or what someone or something has said. A disagreement. So when are you most likely to have a disagreement with someone? That when you're likely to disagree with someone, when you share the same opinion, or when you have different opinions. So you are most likely to disagree with someone because you have different opinions. And remember, all of us have different opinions, but it is also how you share that opinion, how you handle the situation, right? So that is where we can have disagreements. All right, and that's the second option. The last one is, which country is more independent? Is it one that controls itself, or is it one that is already controlled by another country? A country that is independent. So, which country is more independent? Is it one that controls itself or one that is controlled by another country? All right, and a country that is more independent, it is yes, option one that controls itself. All right, so this is now the end of our lesson on prefixes. And we said that knowing the meaning of the word, right, will help you to determine the meaning of the word that it latches onto, like the root word, right? And we did words with miss, which is incorrectly, words with un, dis, in, im, and non. All right, so this is now the end of our lesson. Thank you very much, grade fives, for joining the class, and I really hope that you're going to have a good weekend further. So till next time, goodbye.